So how you guys been?
Good.
Oh, busy.
Mm-hmm. So you like my packing job then with the modern?
This guy sends me a box of stuff today, John.
Yeah.
And instead of using bubble wrap and packing peanuts to like secure the vintage items, he uses modern pieces, like modern cards, to basically pack all around it.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of 5 Idiots Talking Toys. It's Sunday night, and that means it's time for another full podcast episode. This is a podcast for collectors, toy collectors, sci-fi, pop culture. We'll talk about movies and everything else going on, but we focus on toys, vintage and modern toy collecting. Thanks for joining us. Hopefully you're subscribing on YouTube so that you can join in the giveaway that we have. We're giving away a graded 85 plus Luke Skywalker Jedi figure, Jedi Knight figure with a blue saber. It's probably a good $350 item. You can win that for free by subscribing to us here on YouTube and liking our page on Facebook. The links are below in the description. Let's bring the boys in now. Chris is in the middle of selling on Rogue 5 toys.
Oh, hey. Am I live?
You're live. What's going on?
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was in the middle of doing a vintage collection sale.
Right. What is that website?
It is rogue5toys.com.
Correct.
We sell all sorts of vintage and modern toys.
Correct. All right. Let's bring in salesman number 2, Brandon Alamo. Brandon, what's your middle name? Do you share that information?
I don't share personal information on the podcast, Shane.
Correct. Right. Somebody kicked him off. I'm assuming it was Charles. Charles is with us.
No, he's not.
He's gone. He gone. I'm rewatching Duck Dynasty with my daughter from the beginning. Like I watched it, like 10 years ago. It's the first few seasons are so funny. They're still
so funny.
I put it on and I'm like, oh my God, I forgot how funny this show is. I'm dying laughing the whole time.
My favorite's Uncle Cy.
Uncle Cy is the greatest.
Yeah.
He sounds like Donkey Kong. Because I'm always looking for like a family show, that's like good to watch with a 10-year-old, that they're not swearing and stuff. And it's so perfect for that. It's great. John is here. He is very close to the Duck Dynasty fellas.
Yeah.
John is here.
John is one of them.
No. Have you tried
what are you, like
Sopranos?
3 states away?
Have you tried Sopranos with your son?
No, haven't done that yet.
It's a family show.
Well, it is that it's a different type of family though. Yeah.
A different type of dynasty.
Right. They welcome different members in throughout the series, just like we do here by welcoming in Brian. Welcome to the show.
Oh, there you are.
Thanks for joining us.
It was, yeah.
Brian, could you come into the room where your camera is, or are you going to sit in the other room?
I was going to sit in the other room. Hey, you guys been? Good?
I don't even know how to sit that far back. Like, I don't have that much room. Like, I'd have to literally be in another room, I think.
It's not that big. It looks big.
Yeah. Well, that's what they say. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The camera adds a few pounds.
It's 2.5 foot, but it looks 6.
Brian's a grower.
That's how I got my wife.
All right. Well, here we are. It's time for another episode. We don't have to have all the pleasantries and chit chat with Brian because he just joined us for a Wins and Whiffs episode, but he is here to join the conversation. And the conversation, the topic, as you can see in the title below,
You're right there, Chris.
is going to be explained by Charles Chitwood.
Jesus.
Charles, what is this episode about?
This episode is about I'm also eating at the same time.
You're
Who
eating.
is-
Chris is sleeping. Whatever.
Who is the most annoying person at a convention? Anime nerds, die-hard Star Wars collectors like
Oh.
Brandon,
Give me that.
Alamo, boy know-it-alls like Chris, high and mighty dealers like John, or cosplayers like Brian.
Well, the first time I met him, he was wearing that slave Leia costume. I still can't get it out of my head.
I know.
In a good way or a bad way?
It's been both.
No one can.
Right now,
Doesn't he dress up like Ninja Turtles?
It doesn't fit anymore. Too much surface area.
All right, so Brandon is our resident connoisseur. He's a regular traveler. He's our con attendee. But we all have been to them before, so we can all chime in on this, of course. But Brandon, do you have some thoughts that jump to the front of your brain when you hear this question?
I'll go last since I've seen it all.
All right, yeah. You'll tie it all together. Okay. Chris, what jumps out at you? And now you've been an attendee and you've been a vendor.
I mean, the cosplay and stuff like that, it's not really my thing, but it doesn't annoy me because sometimes it's nice to see. But I would think the thing that actually annoys me the most are like Funko Pop sellers when they have these boots and it's just the most crappiest toy section I've ever seen in my life. And in my head, I'm like, why are they wasting 8 hours of their day sitting here slinging this shit that no one wants?
They're in the middle of eating a gigantic burrito from the snack stand, and they're just sitting there waiting for somebody to buy these pops.
It's like I can understand like vintage guys, and I can understand guys who are doing stickers and patches. Like I can understand it. It may not be my thing, but I understand it. But when I see like a bunch of this modern crap, especially when it comes to Funko Pops, I'm just like, what are you doing? Why are you sitting here all weekend? Like, what do you? I don't know. Like, how much you selling? $100? I don't know. That annoys me.
Man, those guys clean up. They don't sell 100. They're in the thousands and thousands of dollars. They go
for $1 a piece. How many guys sell?
Well, but they don't only have like recent releases. They have ones that are like $300 a piece.
Yeah, I'm not talking about those sellers.
He's talking about the Brandon San Diego swap meet sellers.
Aren't you going last, Brandon?
Thank you. Yeah.
I thought this was about the people that attend cons, not the people that sell at cons.
Well, it just
be
the people you run into at a con.
It could be anything.
Okay.
When this episode was being announced, they actually did talk about sellers also. So sorry, Brandon.
Oh, okay.
I'll
let you finish with your only 2 cons you've been to. Please tell us more.
Well, I've been to actually more than 2 cons, just that con.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't have any other answer than that.
The cosplay is not my thing either in terms of, being interested in being involved in that, but I do like it at the conventions because it feels like it's part of the convention, even though that they're pretty much attendees. And, some of them are funny, some are a little, fun to watch. And then there's some cute girls that are walking around, with their husbands or whatever, and they're both like in a theme, it's cool.
I mean, if you guys remember seeing Leia Slave Girl 3 years ago, I don't think anyone would mind seeing her.
Yeah.
So
and honestly, if that wasn't a thing at all, if there was no such thing as cosplayers, I almost feel like these conventions would have to hire people to walk around as some of the characters because it
dressed as characters.
Yeah, like it adds something. Like you feel like you're at an event because they're, it's kind of like when you go to Disney and there's characters walking around. You go, there's stormtroopers walking around. It makes you feel like you're, in the middle of something. John, what about you? What do you think of in terms of what sticks in your craw?
I don't think anything sticks in my craw, but I just don't like the high and mighty sellers. You know what I mean?
Like Chris was like my price is my price.
Get out of here.
No,
Well, I mean, you priced everything low, but you didn't realize everybody was going to try to barter with you.
That doesn't make me high and mighty. It just makes
I'm
me.
joking.
It just makes me not wanting to sit there and finagle over pennies.
Yeah. But you're talking about, people who aren't the most friendly, John, right? And you're
Yeah,
talking
pretty
about
much.
people who have,
Yeah.
kind of high price stuff. They're not really willing to deal.
Yeah, not necessarily that they're not willing to negotiate or anything, but they think their shit doesn't stink because they have, high price stuff. You know what I mean?
So basically, if it was like a certain someone that we all know, if he was selling at a show,
I'm never buying from him.
okay.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I'm thinking of the same person you are, but I'm thinking of somebody who, in general, usually has like really decent prices, and they still have some of that high and mighty vibe. Like if you're just buying from him and moving on, you won't maybe catch it. But if you're there for a few minutes, you do catch it.
Yeah.
So those are the kind of people that turn buyers off, even just by the way they interact.
Yeah, I just don't. Yeah, that's the main thing is the way they interact with other people.
My don't stink.
Yeah.
All right, who else? Brian, do you have any thoughts?
The sellers that think the prices are still COVID prices,
Ooh.
and you say, "Hey, I'll offer you this," but no, I want this. Well, it's not worth that much, like in any way, shape, or form. And then they go look on eBay, and it's like, yeah, that was how long ago? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because things are going down, like, as far as the price of things, I believe. I mean, Chris would know, and Brandon would know more than that, but on that. But yeah, those ones that, they're taxing, they know they're taxing like 15, 20, 25% easy. And then, it's just that kind of shit. So I'll go somewhere else.
COVID prices are long gone and never coming
Right.
back.
And
a few people,
Yeah.
a few people are still holding on to those prices.
I was a big dummy one time too.
We all were. Every one of us was.
But it looks,
Yeah.
it just feels good. So messed up.
Well, why don't we interject something that we were all talking about the other night? We saw somebody selling on some of the groups, and a couple of the groups. I mean, I heard you guys saying COVID prices. I was like chiming in, going, "These aren't even COVID prices. Like COVID never hit that high. $95 for like an above average stormtrooper with a blaster. $95. I mean, it was white. I mean, it wasn't perfect. It didn't look like anything special. And the one that was yellow was like 85 or 75.
Mhm.
That's crazy.
I thought you were going to say $85 for the loose limbs C-3PO.
Oh my god. C-3PO.
I thought that was
Slightly-
$5.
Slightly loose limbs, nice gold.
$85.
$85.
Absolutely not.
The same exact night, somebody did a like a live claim sale, in the comments,
Oh yeah.
and posted a bunch of his figures. Literally wrote loose limbs, nice gold, $5.
No.
Yeah.
And his sold, and the other guy.
It is sold. It was unbelievable. It's $100 for an R2D2. $80 for Obi-Wan, right? It was crazy. It was like
he had it was some really ridiculous prices.
ridiculous. So there's people out there that are just kind of, there's something going on. They're delusional, or they just didn't do their homework, or I don't know. Somebody told them something, they believed it. I don't know.
They're scorned because they spent so much at one point and can't make it back.
Yeah.
That too. There's
Let
people that are
back
holding on.
Originally planned.
Yeah.
And
I mean, listen, any other place you buy a stock and it goes down, you can't sell it for what you
Right.
bought it for.
that's capitalism, though. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
Right.
So
No, Chris, you said something right. Charles, what are you thinking about with these cons?
So I'm a man of the people.
Mhm.
So I speak for the people, what they think.
The people who wear mediums.
Now,
Mediums.
when you're walking around a con,
Hmm.
and I want to say no offense, but I kind of want to say it is an offense. But if you want to put on a slave Leia outfit, you better fit into the slave layout outfit.
Sorry, Brian.
If you want to be a stormtrooper, we don't need to see the bottom of your stomach. You better fit in these costumes. Now, I'm fine with all these like Mandalorians walking all over the place. And that's great. And, some are like an oversized one.
Yeah, the Jon Favreau Mandalorian. Yeah.
I would say fat Mandalorian. But like, we don't need to see like skin. Like, we don't need to see the bottom of your stomach. We don't need to see like large women wearing a slave layout. It doesn't fit. Like, that's not how it was. So, I mean, why walk around like that? And yeah, like maybe I'm like rude or whatever. And but that's
speak your mind, Charles. Don't hold back.
Yeah.
And I am holding back too.
Remember those like two gigantic guys that we saw like a year or two ago? What were they dressed as like?
It's like Darth Vader
Wookiees, or were they
Darth Vader and a Wookiee? Yeah.
Two gigantic guys,
enormous.
Have you watched our episode? They're all human.
Shane,
No, he's thinking like Undertaker size.
I can't forget those guys.
Wasn't there a really, really tall guy who had like a sword and like
I don't remember
armor and stuff?
Yeah, one of them was dressed like Vader one day. The other one was dressed like Chewbacca the other day. They were massive.
And then they changed. They changed to a different costume. Yeah, one had like an axe or something. One had
one was Chewbacca and didn't need the stilts.
It was crazy. Like they had really good cosplay costumes, and each guy was 6'8" minimum. Like they were enormous, way taller than everybody else.
I mean, it's not hard. Like if you're a large and you buy like a large stormtrooper costume, fine, go walk around. If you're large, you're not going to fit in the small. Like you can't like borrow your friend's stormtrooper costume and go walk around the con. It just.
So, are you suggesting that they maybe go as Jabba next time, or?
I'm not suggesting anything.
Okay.
I'm just suggesting wear your proper size, and then if you're portraying like I don't know Princess Leia, like obviously like. She was a certain like size and
a certain look
and stuff like maybe follow that look.
Yeah, Brian, you need to shave next time.
Yeah, sorry, Brian.
I'll do more sit-ups too.
Not your face.
Brian's out.
I'll fit into it.
Brian, next time you could go as Ursula from A Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
Okay. There's other characters you could be.
Why would you do that to me?
Didn't we see Ursula somewhere? I think we saw an Ursula.
I know we saw the Rancor Keeper.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
that guy was good.
And that fit.
Do that
like his size like fit the Rancor Keeper.
Yeah.
Like he should look like that.
Yeah.
Actually, there should be more Rancor Keepers walking around. Like 100 of them walking around.
And Gamorrean guards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the Boba Fett Gamorrean guards. The OG
Java
ones.
dancer, the Java dancer girl with the bigger one.
Oh yeah, the bigger one. Yeah.
Gargantua or whatever her name was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Shane?
For some reason, I'm stuck on these people that want to get tattoos at the con. I like tattoos. I'm not a tattoo guy myself. I've thought of it, but like you're at a convention for a topic, sci-fi, Star Wars, whatever. Like I guess it's cool that there's all different areas for you to do stuff, but why would you buy a convention ticket and then go lay on a table for 7 hours and miss the whole convention?
Yes, John?
If Kat Von D were there giving tattoos, would you do it?
No. Like I would do that on my own time and plan it out.
Would you have another perspective of it?
John.
Yes, if there were people that wanted to get a tattoo from her, but again, you're going to get like she's going to be able to do 2 people a day at most.
I know, but I'm just saying
it's Bob Van D at these things.
It's Crocodile Dundee. He's doing tattoos. Yeah, I mean, Kat Von D is, she's a name and people would want to go see her, of course. And maybe she would, do a table with some signing at some point. But if she was doing, in fact, I'll tell you this. Here's a perfect example. I came across somebody. She's not from the U.S. She's from Europe or something. She's a a really well-known tattoo artist, and I just came across her channel in a feed, and it was like she's like, I'm heading out to the show, and then like a minute later, she's like unpacking all her stuff, and she's at a convention, and I don't know if it was a tattoo convention or not, but she had a tattoo booth, and she had people that very early on signed up for a spot with her. And she literally did a tattoo on one person for like 9 hours. So she's there for the weekend and she can only take 2 customers.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
I gotta tell you, with our experience with cons and stuff, if you're there to get a tattoo and it takes you 7 hours, I mean, we were there for 4 days last year, wondering what we were going to do on day 2.
I guess, but if you're somebody that's, there for just a day or whatever, I mean, they almost should just say like, hey, we're here to do tattoos, but like we have a 2-hour limit per person. Like you can get a
Charles
reasonable
did
size
4
tattoo,
maps,
but
and he got 3 tattoos at the last one. So
yeah.
So my tattoo guy, I wouldn't say it's his only like rule, but he always says like only see a guy within their shop, like never go to like some con or like a cruise or something like that. It's not gonna work out.
Yeah, an okay job is kind of the best you're hoping for.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what you're signing up for. But
Why would you walk
it
through
doesn't
the door?
bother me. It's just a
Why would you
weird
walk
thing to
through
do.
the door and then like lay there for 10 hours? Like
Yeah.
doesn't
And
make
why
any-
would a tattoo artist? I mean, I guess they're booking their day.
I mean,
know.
it's
Why would they sign up for that?
I mean, for them, it's like a regular day of work. I don't really think they're there for anything other than that.
Yeah.
Just a
Right, but
regular
wouldn't you
day.
rather do like little tattoos, having to do with the con or whatever, like a little character or something or a symbol?
I mean, maybe they are doing that. Like little butterflies on your belly button. I don't know.
I don't know. Charles and I went in there at one point, and there was a dude with his whole ass out. He had his full ass. He was on the table
I
with
know
his
he's-
full
yeah.
ass out.
But
I know.
he
who you're
was
talking
getting
about.
like he already had 100 tattoos. So for him to have 101, it's not a big deal.
For him
But,
to have his 100th worst tattattoo, he didn't care.
yeah,
Like he didn't care if it was ended up being the worst one because nobody will see it. But yeah, I mean, and then on the flip side, there's other rooms with unusual stuff like board games or card games or whatever, and we had fun checking that out. So there's something for everyone at some of these cons. The people that are in line for these autographs for like 3 hours, like I just don't understand like devoting a bunch of time to any one thing at a con. Like I don't know.
I have enough.
People
they've
standing in
gotten
line for
better.
something forever.
they got better with that. At the big conventions, they do times, so you show up at a time, and then you get to go through the line a lot faster. These smaller cons, they don't do that, so you have to like wait in this line for 30 minutes to an hour.
Yeah. I mean, the only other thing I'll throw out there, guys, is we've seen this before. If there's like a VIP time or an early bird time, and then you see guys walking around with like lanyards on where they're like volunteering or they work for the company. Like they're not there they're there to work. And they're walking around before the regular people come in and they're buying stuff like in early bird time. That pisses me off.
I have
like-
another one.
Charles, go ahead, Charles.
I think Chris and Brandon will agree, and they'll probably be shocked that I agree with them too. But like the side, like the game room, like the Dungeons and Dragons, and like
The role, like, what is that, role playing?
I don't know, like what did we
RPG
play?
games?
We played like
We
what?
played cards. I mean, we
We
just
played Baccarat.
yeah, but
No,
Chewbaccarat. What did we play? We played the Lando Calrissian card
Played
game.
You played like the Han Solo drinking game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's like 30 minutes. You sit down and you
That guy-
drink and laugh.
the
No,
bat.
but they were so into it, and
They
like,
were
that's the
very
guy's-
serious.
That's the guy's job.
I
He's
mean,
sitting there playing a game with us, and he's so into it.
listen,
I just looked at Chris and Brandon, and I was actually like really jealous that like they just walked away. I was sitting there.
I refuse to do that. I just walked right back out. I mean, I get why they have it because it attracts people, but to me, That's the most stupid.
There was no one in there. There was no one in there.
Stupid.
That it was akin to playing poker. I mean, we had chips. Like the
guys
table
don't
next door
realize,
was an
like,
empty Dungeons and Dragons table.
Some of the people that go to these cons, man, that is like,
I know. No,
that's
I
their
get
thing,
it. No,
you
I
know?
get it. I get it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, for me, I think it's the most stupidest thing in
Yeah.
the world. But I
Yeah.
get why they have it, and I think they should have it.
yeah.
It's just that's just not for me.
And those aren't, I wouldn't call those guys workers who are working for the con. They're like club guys. Like
They're enthusiasts.
like they play, they have a club for that game.
They're
Or
experts.
whatever.
Man, you need those guys there because nobody knows how to do that.
They
Play that.
live and breathe these games.
Yeah.
We're talking about super uber nerds. That's who we're talking about.
Yeah.
I've worked those shows.
We're all nerds, but they're
Huge.
Shane,
worked those shows.
who won?
You weren't doing card games.
Didn't Brandon
though, were
no,
you?
not card
Yes.
games.
Exactly.
he's pissing and moaning the whole half an hour.
I was all in every
Winning
time. I'm trying to get
every
rid of my
hand.
chips. And it kept winning.
He was crushing everyone, going all in.
He took all of John's money, took all of my money.
took all my money.
Yeah. He took all of Chris's money. Chris was out in the hallway.
Yeah.
I ran away. I just gave it to him.
I was just trying to get out of the game.
Yeah, I mean that for me, I know it's it's nerdy and stuff, but like we had nothing else to do. We're walking around like, what are we going to do next? We've been here for 3 days, and it was just a change of pace for half an hour. I was enjoying myself.
I got why you guys did it because we were there honestly way too long. I mean, to spend 4 days, I only needed a day.
Yeah.
So there was time to kill. I just took that time and called my wife and did FaceTime with my kids and to waste it on a stupid drinking.
Well, Charles, what did I say to you also? It wasn't just like we needed something to do. I had a secondary motive.
Yeah, you said, hey guys, we can learn to play this game and we'll have a lot of fun and we can take this home and play this game with our kids.
Oh God.
No, I said to Charles, we're doing a podcast later today, and then we're going to do podcasts about being here. Like, let's do some different stuff and get some stories to talk about.
Yeah.
So we've talked about this card game 4 times already. I mean, it was a good half an hour spent, but that's what you have to do. You have to go around and try to experience some of the different stuff. Brandon, it's now time for you to take us home.
Well, I'll touch on some stuff. A little bit about what everybody said here, just to kind of wrap it up. But all things aside, one of the major cons that I've been to a few times is Comic-Con here. That is not a normal con, so I'm not even going to compare anything. I'll mention a couple things from there. The cosplay there is insane. Obviously, everybody there wants to dress up. I don't mind it too much because those people tend to not really get in the way. They kind of stand off in certain areas and in the hallways. And I think it's really good for the kids to see, and they want to take pictures and all that. And these people go all out. So I look at it more as like a kids thing. The kids really enjoy going to the cons because they get to, see the people that they see on screen, and no kidding, like Superman walking around and the guy looks like Henry Cavill walking around, or Spider-Man. And these people look actually legit. Or stormtroopers, or some of the shorts that I sent Charles that he put on there with the people with their lightsabers and all dressed up. So I think they do a really good job, and I think it gets the kids really excited about that. But Shane, what you were saying with people wasting hours at a time to go and get like a tattoo, I've seen people spend 24, maybe more hours waiting in line for the Hall H, which is like the big panel room at Comic-Con. They spend all day waiting in line and all night, and I don't get that at all. Because to me, you're wasting. You spend a lot of money to go there, and then you're wasting an entire day waiting in line to go see something. And that's my biggest problem with Comic-Con is that. And to me, I don't really like going to Comic-Con to go do that. Like I'll go there for toys, but I don't go there to see the panels and all because it's too much.
Well, the panels at Comic-Con are like some of the biggest in the world. That's kind of the problem, right? Like you don't want to wait, but they are probably awesome panels.
And I just don't. To me, it's like I'm not wasting my time to go do that. Like,
well, I think
it's too much.
I think the line's probably full of people who think they're going to be able to ask questions,
or they want to see their star in person, and they want to see Robert Downey Jr. from 300 feet away or whatever. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good. But so I understand that. So they want to see their movie star or their whatever for the movie, but I just don't understand why they would wait for a day or 2 days. Trying to wait on that for this to me is a waste. The biggest thing, so going back to the other con stuff, the biggest thing that I've seen as far as like people buying and selling, the one thing that I really don't like is when people don't do their research and they'll buy from that overpriced seller. Like I watched a guy he had a bunch of Star Wars figures, a bunch of mocks, and a lot of them, mostly all of them, were way overpriced. I'm talking like a Lando General beater card. The guy had like $500 on it, and I watched this guy walk up and like buy it, and I'm just like, why is this guy spending? And I'm like, all you got to do is go on eBay for a quick reference and go to the sold listings and see that they're not going for $500. I don't even think it was. I think it was even more than that. I think it was like $575 or $600 was what this guy spent on this, and I was just completely blown away that this guy was spending that much money on a card back like that. And I'm just like, did this guy not do his research? And I'm like sitting there, and a buddy of mine was standing right next to me. He's like, holy shit, this guy just spent that much money on a Lando General card back, like not even graded.
That guy is the perfect customer for these vendors.
I understand that.
He's the perfect customer at a toy show.
I mean,
because that's what these guys do. They put these high prices,
you're totally
and they're willing to negotiate, but they're dying for this guy to walk up and just buy it.
And this guy's prices were all over the place. And you think at a show you're going to get a good deal. Most of the time you're not.
No.
Unless you buy a lot or unless you know the seller, and have bought recently from the guy or whatever. But most of the sellers at these shows are out to get you. And if you can haggle them down on the price, then fine. And they usually come down on the price, but to not do your research and grossly overpay for an item that to me, I was just blown away by that. I felt bad for the guy.
A lot of sellers will go there and really overprice things. And a lot of them will sit there and they will hope for that one idiot to come to their booth and spend money. So the moral of the story is don't be that idiot.
Yeah. Do your research before you walk in there and think
And in all honesty, like
holy grail of all Star Wars toys, because
if you're in there for 1 hour early bird or something, that's one thing. But if you're walking through and you see something at 1 p.m. or 3 p.m., you can walk away for 5 or 10 minutes and look it up. Like no one's going to come likely and scoop that out from underneath you in 5 minutes. So walk away, make sure you know what you're doing.
I mean, I understand, how these cons work and how the sellers, price items and stuff like that, because we've all done that, we have the sales page and stuff like that. But I just, it behoove you as a buyer to do your research and ensure that you're not getting taken to that guy got taken to the cleaners and he was like happy about it. And I was just like, wow, I was blown away by it. I felt bad for the guy,
Yeah, but you know what? When I hear you saying he was happy, you're feeling bad for him. But he had the greatest day of his life. He bought this thing. He obviously wanted it. It's not like he's looking to flip it or something. So he's going to go home. He's going to enjoy it. He doesn't need to, he doesn't need to know or care that he spent too much. Like he's just going to enjoy it. So
it's a tough teller too when you have someone that they know what they paid, they know what their bills are, they know the high price. So they'll do the high price so that way there's more leeway to work.
Yeah.
They stay farther away from the bottom. So, you know what I mean? And then there's some that, make $5-10 off of a, $100 figure, or, $200.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just to keep things going because it's the clientele and the respect and the trust that you have that you build with people.
Yeah.
You're going to bust your ass in the beginning, but it's all, it's just like the stock market. It goes up and down almost every day. And
that's the difference. I was going to say that's the difference between, more local toy shows and bigger conventions. Like you want to build a clientele with your once a month local toy show because you want those guys to come back monthly or several times a year and buy more from you. If you're at like some big con that's like once a year, like you're just trying to make, some of these guys, not everybody, trying to make every dollar you can,
Yeah, that guy. I've seen that same seller at multiple cons, and his stuff it's like a museum. It just sits there, waiting for that one guy to come up and buy stuff. But
But they have to lower it down. Either
Yeah.
lower it down, make a little bit of money, or you just sit on it and it eventually be worth nothing. You know, if you get to the point like Barbie or Beanie Babies
or Funkos. You know, I honestly thought that Funkos were going to be the Pog of our generation. I actually thought that they'd be worthless by now, and nobody be buying them. And Funko seems to be putting stuff out, and people seem to be waiting in line for these items and paying exorbitant amount of money for some of these Funko Pops. I don't get what the deal is. I don't collect them. I think they're, like I said, like Pogs, but I understand the game. I understand that they need vendors like that at these shows. Like Chris hates seeing them because they, who would buy that crap? And I agree, but
it's funny because I picked up a very large modern collection, like a lot of modern stuff. And the first thing I said to Brandon was, hey, why don't I go do a toy show and I'll set up and I'll just sell all this modern junk there. And Brandon goes, literally, takes a big dump right on me saying, why would you go there and waste your time selling this garbage to make $37? Now I say it, and now he's going the opposite way now. You remember that?
Yeah, because it wasn't to make $37. It's because you wanted to drive down to Nashville in a truck. So you wanted to A, rent a truck.
I would have to. What are the ways?
Yeah, but you wanted to rent a truck, spend the gas, the hotel, the space, the drive back, the car, and I said, Chris, by the time you sell it all, you'll make $37.
I have a Suburban. I don't really need to rent a truck. But I mean, that was my idea, but
well, you could
Let's go.
if you go to a local. Chris, I'm just saying that you wanted to take it down to Nashville for the IC con, and I'm like, why are you going to drive all that way? Spend money?
Yeah, there's a lot closer places to go.
Like, go to a local place and sell it at a local con.
Like, not even so close to you. There's a giant place like in
trying to prove
Pennsylvania.
Brandon wrong. Will you stop agreeing with him, please? Thank you.
Well, I'm just saying there are some big toy shows. Like,
I was just telling you to do it smartly. I was just telling you to drive
exactly. So don't go there.
Hours.
Yeah,
hey,
smartly.
Brandon, you want him to do it smartly?
Yeah.
You want him to do it more better?
More better. I always say that.
Big Lear.
Do it more better and go to a local con, like Shane said.
Yeah, and not even just local one. I mean, I haven't been to them, but I know that there's like a big con, like in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. It's like a 2-day thing over a weekend. There's another big one that's like into New York State. Like they're all within, like 3 hours driving. Like that's much more feasible than driving to Nashville.
There's another guy that I know that's local here. He drove to a con up in LA to sell a bunch of stuff. And LA is not that far. It's only 3 hours. But by the time he rented a U-Haul, the gas, the hotel rooms, and what he sold and what he paid to rent the spot and come back, he's like, I barely broke even.
No, you'd be better off on eBay.
And I'm like, my God, really? And he's like, yeah, this wasn't that great of a show. Like,
so a lot of these modern pieces, Shane, like if they're like this big, they're only worth $25.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't ship them. Yeah,
but shipping is like over $40, like $50 on some of these things. So I just have stacks and stacks. So it's like I never knew that the modern line in like the 90s and stuff, everything they came out with is like massive, like these massive.
The Tauntaun and the Dewback.
Didn't they use the old Kenner molds though?
And all this stupid shit.
No, these are like the Power of the Force 2, the 12-inch figures.
Yeah.
The 12-inch massive box ones.
It's not even 12-inch. It's like 36-inch. It's like a big Tauntaun this big. And I'm like, wow. I look up and go, it's worth $50. And then I look at shipping. Oh, shipping is $95. No one's buying it. No one.
Damn.
Yeah. All right. Well, I can walk past a Funko Pop table. It's just when I have to walk past the 11th Funko Pop table, then I get really annoyed because there could have been other vendors there. I'm thinking,
Yeah, but we all want to see vintage because that's what we like. But
just different stuff.
A lot of these vendors, there's not a whole lot of vintage vendors around that have good stuff. And they're not willing to drive.
When I see the pop tables, it's like seeing exactly the same thing at 11 different tables. It's not like a different toy line, but it's all modern. Like I'm not bothered by it being modern,
I understand that, but there's podcasts that are all about pops.
And I hate those podcasts.
Yeah.
I think vintage is getting harder to find.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting harder to find people. The younger generation wants pops. I mean, John had a store. He was selling pops. He can tell us all about. He said he couldn't even keep them in stock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's not that they're bad sellers for a store because you're walking into a store. It's just that when you're going to a con, you don't. I don't want to see just tables and tables of
No, and
pops.
that's the biggest thing. You got to be very careful to which cons you go to, because if you go to a con,
yes, exactly,
a con, you're going to expect to see that and see pop culture. And you're going to see,
and that's what it is.
Stuff.
It's pop.
You have to go
garbage.
to a show, a toy show, if you want to see that stuff.
Yeah,
correct. Brandon is correct.
Thank you.
All right, last question, and then we're going to wrap this episode up. What do you guys think about the? I don't want to say just artists, but like the arts and crafts and tchotchke vendors. Like, what do you guys think of all that?
Waste of time. Stay home.
I think it's perfect for a con, not at a toy show.
I mean,
yeah,
I want to say it's perfect for a con, but I've seen a lot of those small booths where someone has like a book and they're selling a book. And in the 4 days that I was there, I never saw one book sold. I never saw one person at the table. I never saw one person even talking to them. And in my head, I actually like feel bad for them. But in my head, I'm like, well, why are they there? They're selling a book about like Earth, Wind, and Fire. Who cares? Okay.
Oh, the band?
Timothy Zahn.
The band.
Okay. Not Timothy Zahn. Not the Timothy Zahn table.
No, Timothy Zahn. Like they just didn't have him in a good.
I mean, if you really want to know, it was like a woman. It was like a younger girl that was like sitting there, like around our age, like late 30s, 40s, and she had this book, and it was sitting there. And I'm like, what kind of book is this? And like, not one person went over there.
Yeah,
Never saw anyone there.
That's like the Comic-Con type. They have a whole section full of that stuff, and nobody ever talks to them. I don't even know why they go.
Well, yeah. So like me either. So stuff like that, I'm just like, why are you here?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So that's my thing. I just want to go to a toy show. I don't really these cons. I'm kind of over it.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, you're over the $400 autographs and long lines and wading through pop vendors and
I didn't even, you can spend another episode talking about the nut to butt lines at most of these conventions where you can't even move. I mean, it's bad. It's against the fire code, I imagine, with that many people crowded in one area. But
remember when we were Fit 5 Action News and we were interviewing all the people in line?
Oh my God, that was
that was so funny.
It was so funny, and then the microphones didn't work, and it didn't record. Fit 5 Action News on the scene.
That was really good.
That was actually another time that I ran away embarrassed.
Yeah. Then Brandon thought he was like the comic dog, and he was like insulting everybody in line.
That was so funny. Really was.
All right. That's going to do it for this episode of 5 Idiots Talking Toys. Thanks very much for tuning in. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. We wish you good luck in winning the giveaway, which we will do once we hit 5,000 subscribers. It's a graded Luke Jedi figure with a blue saber. So subscribe to the YouTube channel and like our Facebook page, and you are in the drawing. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on 5 Idiots Talking Toys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.